rolling in the name of. Shall we do it? I think we should go for it. Greetings, programs. Your old buddy Ingrid Bernal here. Hanker Infernal, that's me. You're on Runehammer. And that's the whole stinking intro. Oh, wait. Almost forgot. We got to sneak this in real quick so everybody knows exactly what we're doing. I can't tell exactly where the acoustics are going to work over here, but let's try this one.
Room design.
That was not reverb or echo. I don't know what that was. That was really bad. Welcome back, you guys. We are going to slam this sucker out. As you can see, we have some perfectly scale-matched miniatures here where I have taken great care to ensure that the hands of each miniature are the same scale, resulting in a lifelike representation of this room design. So, as you can see here, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. There he is, Obi-Wan, old friend. Then here we have 4 Space Wolf Terminators. You're going to need those, shared universe. And finally, we have none other than Man-at-Arms from the Miniature Masters of the Universe set, which is one of my favorite sets. Okay, here's the room design. So you got a game coming up where your players are wanting to do something that they shouldn't do. Wow, that never happens, Hankerin. Why would I want to do that? Yo, it's like every other game, Wagwan. Okay, so they want to go like walk into the front door of the fortress. They want to go straight to the evil wizard's sanctum and tell him to get bent and defeat him, like way before they do the rest of this cool sandbox that you either came up with or at their behest, more likely, did all this homework and now they want to skip it. I don't know why it happens, but that's real and you know it's real. So this room design helps you create a challenge when they're trying to do something they shouldn't do, or they're trying to like walk right in or kind of like boldly assert themselves in some way. So usually if that's going to happen, visually speaking anyway, I like to do some kind of a big ascent. So this ascent doesn't need to be part of how you sort of instantiate or deploy this room design, but the idea of an ascent, as you're about to see, kind of matches the concept that's in play here. So another thing that's really flexible as far as like dials you can turn as the GM in creating this room is sort of the periphery, right? So I've got my 4 Space Wolf Terminators, which are exactly matched in scale to Obi-Wan, which is crazy to think about. Like the whole Warhammer 40K universe is so small compared to Star Wars people. Like they're like 25 feet tall. It's crazy. I know it's a little known fact, but you know, do your homework. Come on, guys. So the periphery would be these Space Wolf Terminators. The periphery would be maybe this is like a cliff, or maybe these are walls. I'm not sure, but it's periphery. So that periphery, you know, is it stairs? Is it a door? Are there cliffs? Are there space wolves? All that stuff is adjustable. The part that I really want to talk to you about is right here in the form of my little poker deck. So you're always going to shuffle first, and with great skill and manual dexterity, you're going to do this casino stuff. I know. Can you believe that? It was almost like an optical illusion. I'm so good at it. So you're going to shuffle up your cards, get them ready, and then as this encounter sort of becomes live, right, which is something we always talk about in room design, there's a moment when players are no longer preparing and they're engaging. And you're going to know that moment. And it's usually when a GM says like, roll initiative, everybody cheers, right? It's something like that. But at that moment, you're going to lay out Obi-Wan's psychic barrier. And this psychic barrier is going to take the form of playing cards like this. So let's just do 3 right here for this example. Now remember, this could be a wide open grassy plain. This could be a tunnel in a dungeon. It could be anything. And these cards you could have, I've never done more than like 5. I feel it starts to get a little crazy. But anything where, you know, we need to get from where we are to over there. The first time that I really deployed this to effect, we had players that were fleeing a dragon who was dropping pieces of a castle from the sky. All they had to do was get to shelter, but between them and shelter was running across this open space, and these huge chunks of castle are coming down around them. And I wanted a way to capture this chaos and enough challenge where it wasn't just sort of one rinky-dink roll and then it's kind of over, right? So that's what you're doing here. You're making a challenge of going A to B excruciatingly hard. even if you don't, if you kind of take away the periphery, which in this case would be some extra combat. And these guys can be really beefed up to make this, you know, what it should be. These are like the Royal Guard. These are the Imperial Storm Knights. These are the Shadowcar. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. All right, so what are you going to do here, Hankrin? Okay, you've got another piece, and it is your room design sort of target, right? So in ICRPG terms, rooms and encounters have a single number that everybody tends to be rolling against. In D&D, it's more like a DC, right? Or an armor class. Either way, this room, this space, this encounter that you're doing is going to have a number like that. And let's say we're going to start with 12. So you always take your nice big D20 and you put it out there with the 12 up so everybody knows whether you're making dex checks or you're making a con check because the cold wind is blowing or whatever. Maybe there's like psychic dissonance and you need to make a charisma check to be able to get your wits about you. All those are going to have this 12. Okay, so some stuff happens. There's a cool introductory monologue where, you know, Obi-Wan is just like, I've been being shoved aside in the Star Wars storylines for over 40 years, and my time has come. You will not enter this gate, for behind me is the 13th movie in which I do more than cut up fish in a sandwich shop, and you will not take this from me. And then he like hits me with his force push, right, with his psychic barrier. And this psychic barrier is represented by these cards. And Man-at-Arms says, I had to wear this stupid cereal bowl on my armor throughout the He-Man series. I will now have my revenge. And he's going to come up here. But before he can cross this barrier, this is Obi-Wan right here. And there are waves of force. He's like, ah. And the way that it's numerically represented, this card is revealed and it is added to the target. So to move forward, I'm going to need Man-at-Arms to make a strength 15 roll. So that's the normal 12 target with the 3 on top. Okay, great. So he makes that. Hey, great job, whatever. Moving on. And he comes up here. Now, hopefully I drew some good cards where you can see where this goes. A little bit better. So now a 6. So he needs to make an 18. And you can see a little bit how swingy this can be and how you might want 5 for there to really be a moment which is like mind-shattering, right? So, okay, whatever. He manages to make that while fighting off these 2 space wolves to scale. And then he's like, I am almost up to you and I'm going to punch you. And Obi-Wan is like, I don't really do normal fist fighting. But if you get close, I might remove a limb. I'm kind of a jerk that way with all the limb removal I've been doing in the movies. Like, well, I will get past this psychic barrier. And there we go. We get a king. So now the target is 22. Man-at-Arms needs to make strength 22. Or it could be constitution. Whatever fits whatever system you're working. But you see what's in play here is you have a highly unpredictable extreme bonus to the room sort of median level target. Now, if you just decide these, you're going to look like a jerk. If you're just like, hey, to walk up this 3rd step, it's like strength 25. And people are just like, you're just trying to keep us out of the castle. This is so corny. But if you do it with the cards, you're a lot less responsible for what happens. They could draw 3 2s in theory, come on up, get into it with Obi-Wan. He like cuts off one of your arms because he's always such a jerk with that stuff. And then you punch him with the other arm and, you know, it's all good. You go in the castle. So this is also why 5 cards can be more deadly than 3. Now, if you come up and someone misses the roll, so let's say you come up and this is revealed as a 9. So he's looking at a strength 21. He fails. The thing that we've always done is you are forced to stay right there. You get no progress and we draw again. And this kind of gives the players a chance to back off or to keep pressing. Another thing they might want to do is tag your man, as we like to say. So maybe She-Ra is back here and Man-at-Arms is like, yo, I'm kind of a little under the weather today. Could you get up here and make these strength rolls for me? And she's like, word to that, and comes up and gets it done. So then I'm going to back up. Here she comes. We check it. Dang, it's another jack. It's a 22, but it's all right. She-Ra has like plus 10 strength. So she gets on up to the next challenge. And so on. So that really is the whole room design. It's an idea to have a base target in your room, whatever it may be, and go ahead and decide that. Or if you're even crazier, just roll it. Roll a 10 plus D6. There you go. There's your base level thing. whoa, I rolled max. So it's already 16. And then you put out these barriers in a contained space. If this is just like tennis courts out here and sidewalks, and it's just like walking around in San Jose, I mean, there's no reason for me to deal with all these cards, right? So you do need a kind of a contained space. The most common one we know in playing is like a dungeon corridor, right? So it's just walls, like, hi, I'm the dumbest barrier ever. I'm a wall. In this case, it's a cliff. You could come up with all kinds of interesting stuff based on where your story's at. And then, oh man, okay, it starts with a 19 check and then another 19 check. Give me triple sevens. Oh no, and then a 22. I think another technique you can do is have your players shuffle and cut and even draw these cards so everything's their fault, because some of this extreme difficulty. Now, if you're playing Pathfinder, these DCs are not going to scare you. So this base DC needs to be more like 18. But you're all brilliant GMs, so you know to do that. And that's Pathfinder land where, DC 25 is not uncommon. And then it's just a matter, if you want to do the room design that I have created, like here, with this kind of ascending stairs. I think in our game it was called the Tribute Road. And only one person was allowed to sort of enter this fortress every 1,000 years. And there was a witch up here, and they had to break through this psychic barrier to prove their worth. Another time that we did this encounter was called the Rubicon, and it was a way that you sort of become an orc. You have to walk through these waves, and the waves are the terrifying memories that all orcs share of the tragedies that their people have been through over the centuries. And if you can endure it, where a part of where this idea came from is in Wheel of Time, which was not my favorite show, but had its moments. It's when the homie is in the graveyard scene where all the soldiers had fallen and they were like kind of degrading like backward in time. It was kind of crazy. And then each wave that would hit him, he would go through some past forgotten trauma and like relive it. And it was up to him to scream in slow motion. And there's like a little spit thing and the hair is like slow-mo. And then he would break through it and he would get a couple more feet and then another one would hit him. And I thought, ooh, that's cool. So you could set it up like this, like stairs, but it could be just about anything. The key is to get your poker cards out, and partially just to freak the players out. They don't know what's going on when you start getting poker cards out. They're like, what is this? This is not normal. I don't want to be here for non-normal things. I'm playing D&D exclusively for normalcy. So now you're making it not normal on me? I think you're breaking the social contract, bro. All right, that's this little room design. I'm going to call it the Psychic Barrier. Obi-Wan versus Man-at-Arms. And that's it. It's just a tight little John. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on the internet. I think I'm going to go this way this time. Peace. Oh, wait, no, there's a thing over there. Okay, I'm going the same way. Optional segment. For those of you strange enough to reach the end of the video, welcome to the optional segment. As an alternative design to get your poker cards out as super volatile room target modifiers, consider the Psychic Secret. So instead of laying out your cards in a geographic or terrain-driven sense, you give one to each player. When the time comes to be assaulted by the Psychic Secret, somehow this wizard is levying your own traumatic memories against you, then and only then will you reveal your card and say, ooh, I got a 9, and your next action or next D20 roll will be forced to deal with a +9 DC target number thing. It will be extremely difficult, and you will say to yourself, damn, I'm good at room design. Then, and only then, will you know what it feels like to be part of the Runehammer shield wall. Good luck, and Godspeed. That was the psychic scream. Goodbye.